Hey, hello, and welcome to this video. Today I'm going to show you how I made this cute little stamp to put onto, for example, paper sleeves, what I'm selling at cons. And yeah, let's get started. So I started out with a few concepts in my sketchbook, and then I made a digital version on Procreate on my iPad to better visualize how the stamp will look when I'm using it. However, for tracing, I put it back to normal. To help me with the outline of this stamp, I just used a glass, and then I started to trace the drawing on baking paper. Yeah, the tracing process was a journey. I first tried to trace the drawing directly from Procreate, which didn't work because I always ended up touching the surface of my iPad. So the first thing I did was take a screenshot of the drawing in the size that I wanted to have it. Try to trace from the screenshot, which also only semi-worked because my fingers were still touching the screen. So the next thing I tried was to put a transparent piece of plastic, like some kind of plastic sleeve that I still had lying around. Try to put that between my iPad and the sheet of baking paper, which wasn't perfect, but at least the issue wasn't too bad anymore, and at least I could manage. I mean, I could have just printed out a piece of paper with the design on it. However, I didn't know how to get the pictures the exact size that I wanted it to, and I was too lazy to find out. So we did it the stupid way. So yeah, this is the finished traced drawing. Here I'm just fixing the writing at the top a little bit because it looked a bit wonky. And here I am taping the sheet of baking paper to the rubber block so it doesn't move around while I transfer the drawing. And there you can see my drawing transferred pretty well. Here I'm also just going in with a fine liner to retrace the pencil because the pencil can very easily smear while cutting, and we of course don't want that. So yeah, now I am just starting to actually cut the stamp from the rubber block with my Lino cutting tools. I am cutting just the outline first, and then I'm going in with the rough details. This is actually the first time that I cut on a rubber block. I got my Lino cut tools for Christmas because I really wanted to start like stamp making, print making, and I have done one Lino cut before. And Lino is very different from rubber. It's a lot harder, which means that it's more difficult to cut, but you can also do more like intricate details that you can't do with rubber. I had multiple different concepts, and I also had some concepts where the character was a lot more detailed, where like I made like a humanized version of my mascot to put onto there, and I am very glad that I did not do that because that would have been a disaster to cut. Like not only does it take very long, like that design alone took me a good chunk of time, and it is very simple, but also rubber doesn't allow for a lot of those intricate details. Like I did struggle with the writing on that stamp because it was already very detailed for cutting on rubber. So that's definitely important to know before you start making a stamp. Also, something that somebody also advised me to is to avoid many details, because when you have like intricate little details next to each other, when using like ink and using the stamp, they could like bleed kind of into each other, and that would also ruin the details. So if you're planning to make a stamp, I definitely advise you to choose a simple design. It was also kind of a mistake while filming to not put my hair into like some sort of bun, because the camera always decided to focus on my beautiful, luscious hair coming into the frame and not the stamp that I am making. So I'm very sorry that the footage is often blurry and not focused onto my stamp. For the smaller details like the writing, I am using my smaller tools and also like rotating the rubber block while cutting. A lot of this footage is sped up because I don't want this video to be 10 hours long, but it's also very important to stay concentrated and make slow, controlled cuts, because there is no Control Z on the rubber block, sadly. There's also no eraser. There's no tool that can put the rubber back in, and therefore you need to be very careful and considerate and concentrated while doing this. So here I've just cut off the excess piece of rubber from the block, as well as just cutting out the circular stamp. And here we have our finished stamp! Yippee! Before I'm attaching the stamp to its wooden handle, I am doing a test print to see if there's anything that I need to correct. And there in fact were some things that I did still have to correct about this stamp. As you can see, it turned out super cute. I'm very happy about that, but there were some things that I still wanted to tweak a little bit. Sadly, my hair and hand cover most of the picture, so you can't really see what's going on. But first of all, I made the outline of the mascot a little thicker, and I also ended up cutting out the star in the pupil, just so the inside of the star is also white. So yeah, that is the finished stamp. Looks good to go. We can attach it to the wooden handle. I used double-sided tape to attach the stamp, just so it is removable again. I did not want to glue the rubber onto there because even though I really like how this turned out, I know that it's also probably not my stamp magnum opus, and that I might want to attach other stamps on there in the future. And now, of course, we have to use our stamp on actual paper sleeves. See how it looks? First one kind of was a fail. Tried it a second time with a little bit of more ink. And this one turned out perfect! Yay! Here I'm trying it on a different piece of paper. I've also learned that you should use a bit more force when stamping so that the stamp turns out better. And also it very much depends on the texture of the paper how the stamp will turn out. And this one turned out perfect! This is the best one so far. Probably also because this side of the paper is a lot smoother. I think there's like a thin layer of wax or something on there. But yeah, I am very happy with how this turned out. So this was my stamp making experience. Thank you a lot for watching this video. Maybe it also inspired you to make your own stamp. And yeah, have a great day. See you in the next one. Goodbye!